Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be checking out a video titled How Did Germany Become a Country? If you have any better video that actually answers this question, leave it in the comment section down below. However, the link for this original video will be in the description of my video, and it's a really interesting video due to the fact that how did Germany come about? You know, you have the US, you know how it came about, right? But however, Germany has been here, and you know, there's a lot of changes that happen over the period of time. So I hope this video actually covers that and give me a clear explanation to how Germany actually came about, because the most recent history of Germany that I do know is East-West Berlin with, you know, Soviet and the United States under control, West and East type stuff. That's the most, you know, that I know. But let's see what this video has for us, and thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and let's get right into this video, guys.
The history of the German people is a chronicle both complex as it is fascinating. From the warring kingdoms of late antiquity, Germanic lords converged under the Holy Roman Empire and its many banners. Yet the Germans remained distinct and fractured in a medley of independent cities, fiefs, and petty kingdoms. So how exactly did they arrive at the modern Germany we see today? I'm Griffin Johnson, the Armchair Historian, and today we will be looking at the evolution of German borders. We begin in 1525, amidst the fervor of the Protestant Reformation. Following a conflict between...
I mean, 1555, that's a good amount of years being covered. That's like a 500, 1555. That's almost 500, actually. We're not at 55 in the 20 as yet, so if anything that I just said makes any sense. So that should be a pretty decent amount.
The German Teutonic Knights and the Kingdom of Poland, the Treaty of Krakow was signed. This treaty gave its Grand Master, Albert of Hohenzollern, the autonomy to secularize the Teutonic Order and transform its Prussian holdings into a vassalized duchy under the dominion of Poland. As the first Duke of Prussia, Albert established his capital in the city of Königsberg. Fast forward to 1618, when the Prussian Hohenzollern dynasty faced an upheaval in the male line. As a result, the ducal title was passed on to the family's senior branch based out of Brandenburg. This union solidified the connection between Brandenburg, a fief of the Holy Roman Empire, and Ducal Prussia, a Polish fief. More importantly, the Brandenburg capital of Berlin became an integral part of Prussia. Over the 17th century, Frederick William, as Duke of Prussia and Prince-Elector of Brandenburg, sought to connect his disparate territories, though his designs were complicated by King Carl Gustav X of Sweden, who invaded Frederick's lands, vassalizing the Great Elector. In return for war support against the Poles, Gustav promised to cede his new vassal the provinces of Helmno, Malbork, Pomerania, and Warmia, to which the Prince-Elector agreed in 1657. In response to this threat, King John Casimir II of Poland gave Frederick William a counteroffer, promising him the territories of Draheim, Elbing, Lauenburg, and Butow, along with Prussia's full independence, which Frederick William keenly accepted in 1657. With its independence secured, Prussia was able to prosper, later elevating from a duchy to a fully fledged kingdom in 1701, with Frederick William's grandson, Frederick I, adopting the title King in Prussia. From here, the fledgling kingdom began to establish itself among the empires of Europe. During the Great Northern War, the Prussians secured the Swedish territory of Pomerania in 1720, with the prosperous Austrian province of Silesia becoming incorporated in 1742 thanks to the strategic prowess of Frederick II. Following the territorial deadlock of the 7 Years' War, King Frederick II wished to connect his territories much like his great-grandfather had wished over a century ago. The tail end of the 18th century saw Frederick teaming up with the Austrians and Russians to cow the Polish into submission, forcing them to cede further territory during the First Partition of Poland. This helped Frederick bridge the gap between East Prussia and Brandenburg. From here, Frederick could ratify his title fully and become the King of Prussia, circumventing the legal loopholes imposed on his father by the Holy Roman Empire. The beginning of the 19th century saw the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte, and with it, a brief pause on German fortunes. It was during this period that Prussia would come to blows with the pint-sized potentate, suffering the loss of more than half of its territory after the Treaty of Tilsit in 1807, which mostly remained with the Russians even after Napoleon's defeat. However, not all was lost, as the Congress of Vienna in 1814 gave Prussia the regions of Jülich-Klevsberg and the Lower Rhine following the French Empire's defeat, which were more industrialized and thus more valuable. The Congress also consolidated Prussia and other German states into the wider German Confederation, much like how the Holy Roman Empire did before it was dissolved by Napoleon. Despite efforts from European statesmen to stabilize the post-Napoleonic world, much of Europe itself would succumb to a bout of nationalist fervor. In 1848, various uprisings occurred all across Europe, with many seeing the unification of German territories as inevitable. Nationalist politicians formed the Frankfurt Parliament and even offered the crown of Germany to King Frederick William IV of Prussia, who rejected it in disgust. For the conservative Hohenzollern, this title was a crown from the gutter, a dog collar offered by bakers and butchers and reeking with the stench of revolution. This sentiment was echoed by the aristocratic Junker class, who berated the democratic liberals for their attempts to erode the monarchy. The question of a united Germany gave rise to disagreements. The Lesser Germany parties, led by Prussia, advocated for a smaller Germany that would exclude Austria. On the other hand, the Greater Germany advocates called for the inclusion of Austria, aiming for a larger empire that encompassed all German-speaking territories. During these proceedings, the great statesman Otto von Bismarck emphasized the need for decisive action over liberal speeches and majority decisions. For Bismarck, the unification of Germany had to be achieved under the leadership of conservative and militaristic Junkers. In 1864, a conflict arose when Denmark claimed sovereignty over both Schleswig and Holstein, causing Prussia and Austria to declare war and ultimately emerge victorious. As a result, Prussia gained control of Schleswig, while Austria acquired Holstein. However, tensions mounted as Austrian access to Holstein was throttled by Prussian bureaucracy, leading to further conflicts. In 1866, Prussian troops occupied Holstein, sparking a war with Austria and the majority of the German Confederation, who backed them. The Italians, also seeking to unify their own peninsula, joined the conflict by declaring war on Austria just 5 days later. Within a mere 2 months, Prussia achieved a resounding victory over Austria, annexing significant portions of northern German territory and establishing the North German Confederation.
Oispa burrito.
Oispa paniini.
Oispa street food. Atria. Hyvä ruoka, parempi mieli.
Peset kätesi joka päivä. Miksi et myös nenäsi? Huuhdon nenäsi päivittäin. Otrivin Natural Aloe Vera.
With the Iron Chancellor at the helm, German expansion was all but inevitable. An opportunity for such expansion presented itself in 1870 when the Spanish crown was offered to a Hohenzollern. While the Hohenzollern's prince's candidacy was eventually withdrawn, Bismarck released the Ems Dispatch, a telegram sent by Wilhelm I rejecting French demands that Prussia never again support a Hohenzollern candidacy. This telegram made it appear as if the Prussian King Wilhelm I had treated the French envoy Vincent Benedetti with much disrespect. The French emperor, along with his people, took it hook, line, and sinker, expressing outrage at the incident, which ultimately led to France declaring war on the Prussians.
Dang.
In response, the Germans marched in and thoroughly trounced the French, much to the humiliation of their adversary. Following their victory, the Germans unified into a new empire, and with it, against the advice of Bismarck.
They not playing, boy. Them boys good at, taking.
Who feared French revanchism, annexed Alsace-Lorraine in 1871. From here, the new German state expanded its borders, having brokered new territories in Africa during the Berlin Conference of 1884. Pacific colonies were purchased from Spain following the Spanish-American War, while the North Sea enclave of Heligoland was ceded to Germany from the Brits. Within Asia, the Germans were also able to gain a foothold in China following the Boxer Rebellion in the late 1890s. By the turn of the 20th century, Germany had arguably reached its zenith. Events following the First World War would...
My question is, okay, I'm not trying to, instigate. I'm just saying, like, if Germany was doing this back then, right, in the 1800s, right, we know what happened in the 20th century, right? We know what happened in that 19 whatever. We ain't gonna get specific, right? But we know what happened. If that was successful, yo, I don't even want to think about it, dog. That is crazy.
The German Empire dissolved, and with it a score of territories, including Alsace-Lorraine, the Polish Corridor, and Schleswig. Beyond its European holdings, Germany was forced to cede all of its colonial possessions, which included German East Africa and Southwest Africa, along with Pacific colonies such as Nauru, Western Samoa, and Papua New Guinea. In the place of the empire, an unstable Weimar Republic was left to pick up the pieces, not lasting long before the rise of National Socialism under Adolf Hitler. The irredentist Nazis quickly sought to restore what they felt had been stolen, reintegrating the Saarland from the League of Nations after a successful plebiscite in 1935. Following their rapid remilitarization, German troops marched into Austria and the Sudetenland in 1938, annexing them into their vision of a greater Germany. By March 1939, all of Czech had been absorbed into the Third Reich, with Slovakia forming a puppet regime. Poland's refusal to hand over the free city of Danzig in September then sparked the Second World War, plunging Germany into a titanic conflict that eventually ended with them having less territory than when they started. Germany lost a quarter of its pre-war territory to Poland and the Soviet Union, with the remaining territory being divided into 4 occupation zones. The British, French, Americans, and Soviets each controlled a quadrant. Berlin was also divided between the East and West. Eastern Prussia and Königsberg became Kaliningrad, part of the USSR. To counter the communist influence in the Cold War, the Allied zones united to form the Federal Republic of Germany in 1949, while the Soviet Union established the German Democratic Republic. France maintained control over the Saarland until another plebiscite in 1957 led to its reunification with Germany. German borders would remain the same until 1989 when the Berlin Wall fell, which led to the two Germanys uniting in 1990.
That's crazy to think about it. Like the Berlin Wall fell in 89 and I was born in 99. So just 10 more years and I would witness greatness. Golly, man, that's crazy. That's kind of crazy. I'm being for real. I really don't want to witness no history. I've already witnessed a few things that are, going to be talked about. For example, this whole, 19 thing, what 19 is, right? Yeah, all that, and something that is currently going on since 2000, what was that? We in 23. 22, I think it started in 22. Yeah, something that started in 22. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I ain't gonna get specific. I ain't gonna get into details, because certain words on YouTube might be a little issue, right? But yeah, it's kind of crazy.
The modern German Federal Republic. From the patchwork remnants of the Middle Ages through the imperial ambitions of the Hohenzollerns, Germany slowly but surely converged into the nation-state that we see today. While politics and diplomacy had their influence, the concessions of war had as much to do with Germany's gains as it did with its losses. The Iron Chancellor himself said it best when faced with the question of German unification. Not through speeches and majority decisions will the great questions of the day be decided, but by iron and blood. Pretty sad, but yeah. But yeah, that's a little brief
history about Germany and how they got to where they are at today. Obviously, I'm gonna easily understand the more recent part because yeah, that's the part that everybody knows. Like probably some Germans don't even know the depth of German history, I'd imagine. Yeah, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. It was a very interesting video, and I hope you guys learned something as well. And pretty cool video. Thank you for watching. If you have any recommendations like this, leave them in the comment section down below. And I'm out of here, guys. Peace.